All right, so let's talk here also about what Peter Dutton's had to say in the past couple of days. Yes, it's in relation to the bigger issues of the world, Israel, Palestine, all the rest of it. But he focused in particularly in his conversation with Shari and also in a conversation with Ray Hadley today, that at its heart, this government is still playing university politics. Now, let's step back to that clear principle as opposed to necessarily what type of student politics they're playing out. Henry, you see them in the parliament all day, every day, right? And they may well have worked for Wayne Swan and eventually become the treasurer, or they are, of course, the brother of the union boss who ends up sort of with a relationship in and around industrial relations, or we end up with Chris Bowen who's sort of doing everything he can to make sure that he can pretend that we can change the weather by changing 1% of what's happening in global emissions. It does feel like this government is still stuck, as if they're trying to fight Twitter battles or fight it back at university.
Well, I think it's more insidious than that, Paul, because I don't necessarily, I completely agree that a lot of what they do is very undergraduate and juvenile. But I think that this is really not about foreign policy at all. It's about domestic politics. It's about trying to play to a cohort within some of their inner city seats who will have a negative view towards the Israeli response to what's happened on October the 7th. And I think that the fact that they're dragging our foreign policy to completely radically change our position on such matters just to appease a rather small cohort within some key seats of theirs, I think is pretty disgraceful. And I think Peter Dutton's completely right to have called it out. And I'm hoping that sanity prevails before they go too far down that path.
Yeah, so Leisa, I mean, Peter Dutton trying to put himself basically sort of in the position of trying to commentate as well as combat what the government is trying to do. Do you think that this is the right lane for him to be trying to say what this government is really all about and about how they are making some of their decisions? Because as I explained at the start of the show, we all know what Labor's going to try to do, which is to pretend, you know, Aussie Trump, Aussie Trump, Aussie Trump, threat to democracy.
Yeah, look, I think what was good about Peter Dutton today is he came out and he said zero tolerance. And I think more Australians want to hear that sort of firm leadership when we look at who our leaders are in Canberra. So you mentioned I was at the Queensland Press Club lunch today and the Prime Minister was speaking. When he took a question on this today, he basically accused Peter Dutton of playing politics with this. So I find that very interesting when you put that against the background of what we were discussing about the pressure on Labor now to try to win over and fight that sort of green challenge that they've got coming in relation to people who are supporting Palestine. So it was rich on his behalf, I think, to accuse Dutton of playing politics. And I think that Peter Dutton's doing the right thing and coming out and showing some leadership on this.